Yes, guys. Thank you for listening to the Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is September 23rd. This is episode number 400 for the Buctober podcast. It seems so wild. Talking about this team since February 2021. One of these days they'll be good, right? Good morning to everybody who listens in the morning.
Yeah, it is a good morning there, little man.
Good afternoon and evening to everybody else. Hard to believe we've done 400 of these now. February 28th, 2021. For some reason, we released 2 episodes. Not sure why we did that, but that's what we did. And we did the next one on March 3rd, like just a couple days later. Then it was a week after that. We've done once a week. We've done twice a week. Now doing these shorter episodes every day during the season has been something new. 4 years, 6 months, 25 days ago, the Pirates have been 267 and 333 during our time talking about them. Ben Cherington was hired before COVID. I'll give everyone a pass for that season. It's extremely difficult in a lot of ways. But going into that 2021 season, there was a lot of unknowns. One of those was how Cherington was going to go through the rebuild process and how long the quote-unquote bridge to Buctober would be, which is obviously where we got inspiration for the name. And, I set my eyes early on 2025. We're 6 games from being through that, and it didn't happen. But there was a general excitement for a fan who actually appreciates the grind of a rebuild, the process, all of those things. When I was younger, I played MLB The Show. It was always my thing to rebuild a franchise. Not always the Pirates either. I'd find any team, anybody with just a couple of guys that I could trade off, or maybe more, maybe some older players or something where I could do a 3-year rebuild or a 5-year rebuild. I did them. I actually liked that. Of course, in a video game, you could do that in a couple months, not in an actual 5 years. So a little easier to do those sort of things then. As much as we're all frustrated and waiting for this thing to work out for our team, I'm very thankful for the community that we've built here, the community that we've been a part of outside of just our show, that was already there. Pirates Fan Forum, 412 Double Play Podcast, SteelCityPirates.com, NS9, Ethan Houlihan, Bucko Banner, the 30 Take Podcast. There's more that I'm forgetting, but just within the podcast and content world there that have shared the screen with us at one point or another. And then obviously those of you we've gotten to know a little bit from doing this thing in any capacity. I won't begin to list people, or that'd be the only thing this show would cover, but you know who you are. If you've ever commented on a video of ours or a podcast of ours, or been in the live chat in our live shows, or just subscribed on your podcast app, then that's you we're talking about. Anyone we've met at games, it's you. Messaged on Twitter or something, it's you. Just thanks to everybody. Appreciate you. All right, now Konnor Griffin has been named Baseball America's 2025 Minor League Player of the Year. Incredible first season for this dude. He's starting to get a lot of attention from folks all around baseball, not just Pirates people, not just the prospect people, but there's starting to get some recognition and some people recognizing the name a little bit. On the Baseball America video where they made the announcement and everything, they talked about several players. They said sometimes it's we'll pick the best of the group, and other times there's multiple players that we actually would feel comfortable giving this to. And they made it very clear that they only pick players, specifically they try to only pick players who have staying power and who think are really going to be a star. And they listed guys that were possibilities for this, that they all considered. JJ Weatherholt, Jesus Made, Justin Crawford, Kevin McGonigal, and Jonah Tong were ones they talked about at length. But, looking at the list, there's Sal Stewart, there's Samuel Basayo, who's already there, who's already in the show, Peyton Tolley, Zach Cole, Bryce Eldridge, all those guys in the show already. Really a stacked class of minor league players, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And now the debate is whether or not this dude will come into next year and even better and start the season in the big leagues. Like, that's the kind of conversations we're having about a 19-year-old who will still be 19 at the start of the year next year, birthday in late April. They mentioned on the show, no teenager. Well, first off, for a teenager, 333 average is the highest since Vlad Guerrero hit like 380 when he was a teenager. But no teenager had ever had a 20-40 season until Konnor Griffin. 20 homers, 40 steals. It just hadn't been done. It's just an absolutely incredible first season. Remember, Sherrington said they'll have to be careful with him, so we'll also see if it's Sherrington's decision to make. But check this out before we move on to the next thing. Here are the last 10 minor league players of the year. Konnor Griffin is one, right? Christian Campbell with Boston, he's been in the show. Jackson Holiday with Baltimore, been in the show. It still is. He will be forever. Gunnar Henderson, also with Baltimore, household name. Bobby Witt Jr., come on. Gavin Lux, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., Yohan Moncada, and Blake Snell. That's a really cool list to be on. Really cool list to be on. Kudos to Konnor Griffin. We'll do claps again. We talked about another minor leaguer during the live stream Sunday night for yesterday's show, and now it's being revealed. What we heard Sunday night, Hunter Barco is getting selected by the Pirates to join the team in Cincinnati. Getting the call. We've talked about this, the fact that he has to be protected and that he would probably get a call up, and now we're seeing that is actually true. What are the chances we see him in a game? Well, he hasn't thrown more than 3 innings since August 13th. And of his last 5 games, only one of those was a start. So he's been very limited. He's been coming out of the pen, almost as if they've been kind of priming him for maybe something like this. He last threw on September 17th. He's had 5 days in between every appearance since August 24th, where he only had a 4 days rest prior to the 24th. Or maybe it was prior to one before that. Either way, he's good to go for any of these games in Cincinnati as far as days rest and what you could see from him. He's thrown 99 1/3 innings this year. Last year he threw 66 innings. So we're pushing there. You're probably looking at 1 or 2 outings for him if he gets the second. He's essentially just going to be a reliever who throws less than 50 pitches. That's what it looks like from everything he's been doing. But he, like I said, he had to be added to the roster anyway. This makes perfect sense to bring him up now, give him a taste, a cup of coffee, 1, maybe 2 outings for Barco heading into the offseason, a little taste of what it looks like to face maybe the Reds and then maybe the Braves. We're continuing to see all of this group start to crack the roster around here at the same time. This pitching group is really strong, and they're all like the big names that we already know of. They're all starting to show up now and be options. Now's as good a time as any to go ahead and say it, but with the pitching depth that you already have in place here, you have to be able to get an offense worthy of winning games here. These guys are young. They're not going to be perfect next year. They're going to need help from an offense. Another 24-year-old prospect, this time a left-hander, is making his way to the team, and it's really exciting. The depth is good, and I'm looking forward to him making his debut. Hopefully tonight would be fantastic. I don't think that this is the last one. There's another 24-year-old that I think we'll see as soon too, and I haven't seen anything yet. I'm actually surprised. I would have expected to go ahead and see that now. Brandon Bidwell. He's the Aussie. He had a 0.74 ERA this season, got the promotion to AAA recently, and threw 13 scoreless innings there. Started with Greensboro this season, and which is where he finished last year, and he had to make some adjustments there. He was starting just 2 years ago, and that was not good. They moved him to the bullpen, and as he's learned that, lights out this year. I think he finished his season 20 straight scoreless innings. Of his, I don't have his innings here, but like, dude, it's nuts. It hasn't taken more than maybe 10 more batters to get the amount of outs that he's gotten. It's just absolutely ridiculous. He's also a guy who's, because he's 24, he's international, all that thing, he would have to be protected from the Rule 5 draft, and that's why I think that there's a good chance that he comes up and pitches out of the bullpen at some point. I don't think you'd be surprised if you see his name come across the screen too, and maybe even for tonight's game. I don't know. I don't know what they'd be waiting on. There's guys you could either say, let's rest or let's go. If you have some time, look up that name. If it's unfamiliar to you, look it up. John Drecker shared this on Twitter yesterday. The Indianapolis season ended today. Pirates relief prospect Brandon Bidwell finished his incredible run over the entire months of August and September with these numbers: 21 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 9 walks, 25 strikeouts, no runs, a .016 batting average against. That's 1 for 62. Actually, here's the numbers. He faced 72 batters to record his 64 outs. That is crazy. That is crazy. Brandon Bidwell. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the call alongside and he's not getting the fanfare in the league. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen at some point this week. Johan Oviedo starts tonight in Cincinnati opposite Brady Singer. Let's see if he can avoid tipping his pitches, as the story has been. Let's see if the Pirates can get into some homers down there in the Great American Small Park, the Mickey Mouse ballpark they have down there, as some have been calling it lately. 6 more games on the season. Cruz is 1 home run shy of 20 still. Reynolds is 4. Cruz is still holding on to that stolen base lead, the league lead, and he's 2 bags shy of 40. As bad as his season has been, it would be nice to seal a 2040 season and lead the league in stolen bases. Just something to hang your hat on going into the offseason, something to build off of, where it's not a completely wasted season for a guy who struggled for the majority of the season. 1 more home run, 2 more steals, or more if it takes more to lead the league, but at least get to that 2040 mark. I would think that if he gets on, he's probably going to be running, just trying to get there. Reynolds is sitting at a league average OPS plus right now, 100 on the dot. Kutch is at 98. Bart is at 99. It would be nice for the Baseball Reference site and your page on Baseball Reference to have 3 digits there at the end of the year on the OPS plus category. Even though it's got to be better than 100, it would be nice if they could finish strong and be at 100 or a couple ticks over for the end of the season. So you know that they still have some things that they need to play for, even though I continue to say playing for yourself is pretty difficult. Rafael Flores has a 256 OPS plus. Obviously, that doesn't count in 2 games, but it would also be nice to see him get some more playing time there. I can see Flores hitting his first homer in Cincinnati if they let him play a couple games. Get creative. Put Reynolds in left and Kutch in right and let the kid DH. It won't happen, but I'd like to see it just for the fact of you got to get guys at bats, and you really don't have anybody else that's pressing to play left field anyway. It just doesn't matter. The Reds are playing for a playoff spot this week. The Bucks can play spoiler. All that starts tonight. Let's see who it's an Oppo Taco on Taco Tuesday. Have a great day, guys. Back at it tomorrow for Skeens versus Hunter Green. What a matchup. Let's go Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.